made 3 changes since my last video. The first one is, if I can remember, main character script. So basically, whenever this can move to ornament, the main character script, if this is true, then he moves towards the ornament, so he can stand on top of the ornament. But I didn't make a way for it to be set to false, so it has to be set to false here when the character's distance to ornament is less or equal to 0.1. If I don't do that, basically what happens is, just see, I'll cancel that out. If I can get to my Unity editor. Okay, so if I press play, this whole thing works, but I keep on going back. So that needs to stop. So that is why this must be set to false, so that if this is false here, then he stops doing this. He stops going back to that position on top of the ornament. That's one thing that I changed. Another thing that I changed is I added if can move towards ornament, meaning if the player can move towards the ornament, not only when the button is fired, when he if can grapple is true, can move to ornament is false. Whenever the button is pressed, can move towards ornament is set to true, and once that is true, then another thing I added was player.transform.lookat. I'm looking at the ornament, so I'm getting the X and Z, which is the forward and side of the character, or of the ornament, and then the Y is just the player's Y, because I don't want to change it, so I'm just keeping it as it is. If you remember from my last video, I'm referencing the ornament from the main character, because the main character is getting reference to it from the ornament script. So the main character script.ornament is equal to this game object. So that's kind of like, sounds kind of convoluted, but so whenever, basically what happens is, if I look, just see I'm looking away, and then I press the button, he quickly rotates towards the location. And I can do it from any angle. And another thing that I got rid of was it was in the ornament script that I was calculating the angles as well as the distance to the player, or distance to the camera, but I've cancelled out the original if statement where it was the angle and the distance, and I've only kept the distance. So he can do it, he can try to grapple to an ornament just as long as his distance is within 20 units. I couldn't figure out the angles, but I think it's okay even if I don't, because just as long as these ornaments aren't too close together, they shouldn't interfere with each other. Just as long as they're more than two of these units away, which is I think it's pretty good, pretty sufficient. So it doesn't matter if, just say I'm really close to it, I'm close enough, but just say I'm looking away, he's gonna go to it anyways. Which is, that's one thing that I could work on. If he's going that way, then maybe I can turn the camera around. That's one thing I could do, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. I think it functions pretty well. So those are all the changes that I made. I want to make a few more changes in this video. Let's quickly show you the geometry of the special effects for the death grip. So basically, it doesn't look very good right now, but I think it should look better when it's implemented in Unity. I did a sample material. No, that's not it. Create a new material. I'll show you the texture that I have, which is basically it's going to be an animated texture, but I'm just going to drop on one frame. So obviously all this white here is going to be transparent, and like all these edges aren't sharp, but they're actually like blurred. There's like a nice fade, so it's going to look better in Unity. But I guess it's like plasma, sort of like magical, like plasma. And for the UV layout, I just did like two circles overlapping each other. But you'll see, I'm just going to play a time lapse of how I made everything, of how I made this geometry, as well as how I created the textures. Okay. So the next part of this video is basically just me modeling and texturing this. This is the ornament, the geometry. So yeah, it's just going to be a time lapse of how I made this. Okay, so I'm going to try and implement everything now. So I've got everything in all my folders. So I'm going to go into my prefabs, open up my ornament, and I'm going to place my ornament geometry and I'm going to move it down. Minus 0.25. In the sphere I'll just hide for now. And I need to create some materials for this. So first I'll create a material. This will be Death Grip FX. Oh no, that's not. This ornament, sorry. I'm getting them mixed up. Ornament matte. And drag the albedo. Make it a little bit more matte than shiny. So with that material made, I'm just going to dump that into the material. And I'm going to duplicate this. So the second one is going to be it's going to be called ornament. Let's call it emissive. So what I want to do with this is I'm going to use this to make it shine a little bit when the character's close to it. So very subtle. I think blue would be a good color. So I'm going to go into my my script, the ornament script, and first I need to create a game object. Game object. Let's call it Geo. Let me check my notes here for a second. Public material original material and I'll copy and paste this. This one will be called emissive. Oops. Just gotta compile that real. Oops. Compile it real quick. here, and I'm going to drag and drop ornaments into Geo, and the materials folder, the original material is going to go here, and the emissive is going to go here. And real quick, I'm going to go back to the ornament. I'm going to add component sphere collider, and radius has to be 1. And how do I adjust the oops. Maybe I'll make it a little bit bigger. The radius 1.2, 1.1. Okay, so back in the script, whenever the player is close enough to the ornament, then geo.get component mesh renderer. So in the ornament, I'm referencing the mesh renderer, and I'm getting the material, this right here. Dot material equals emissive material. So when he's close enough, that's what's going to appear. And when he's farther away, it's going to be the original material. So if I quickly compile this, okay, back into scenes, and as you can see, the ornament looks pretty good. I'll just rotate this around 90 degrees. And I'll just put one right here. And I'll put another one right here, but I just have to make sure that they're a certain distance away from each other, because if they're too close, I might get confused. And, so these might be too close together, because this is, I think this is 20, so I want it to be even further away from each other, so I'll put it like way over here, and if I hit play, so this one's already, color's already changed. So if I move away, Okay, so the color goes back off. If I go over here, oh, it's not working. Maybe. Character main camera. The second one's not working for some reason. Um, yeah, I don't know why. Okay, that's something else I can work on a little bit later. But for now, it seems like the emissive is working. I don't know why it's not picking this up. Okay, I want to come back to this. Next thing I want to work on is the death grip effect. Death grip effect, I'm going to go into my player character prefab. And here I'm going to add the death grip effect geometry. And it's going to go, it's going to be the same position as the death grip hand. Oops. Which is this position here. So copy position and paste it onto here. Except it should be much closer to the player. Go there. And I want to hide the hand again. So actually I need to go back into here. And I'm going to have two geometries over on top of each other. One's like reverse because Unity only does one side, so I need to like create two geometries with the normal spacing opposite direction. So I'm going to join these two. Why is it not letting me? These two here. Join. I'm going to export this again. Okay, there we go. It's got both sides. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to apply the animation to this. So first I need to create in this animations folder, I'm going to create an animator called Death Grip FX animator, and on this Death Grip geometry I'm going to add an animator, and I'm going to choose the animator that I just created, Death Grip FX animator, and I'm going to dock this over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to create an animation, and in that same folder I'm going to create Death Grip FX anim, and I automatically place the Death Grip, this animation, into the animator that I just created. It automatically does it, but I think the right things have to be selected. I think it's because the geometry was selected and had the animator. I'm not too sure, but sometimes it just adds the animation automatically. So the only thing that I need to do now is, because this is a mesh renderer, this is not a sprite renderer. Sprite renderers are good for 2D games, but if you have any sort of like weird geometry like this, that's not like a flat plane, then you can't add a sprite. Sprites actually don't even apply to any sort of geometry. It's got the sprite renderers like this separate thing. So if I was using a sprite renderer, I could use like separate images, like an image sequence, but I can't do that with a mesh renderer. So instead, what I have is if I go into my animations folder, I have this animation sheet. It could be used as a sprite sheet, but it's just it's not even a sprite. So instead of like doing an image sequence, it's one big image, and I'm only playing with the offset. So first thing I need to do actually is I need to go into materials, and I need to create a material. This is Death Grip FX matte, and this is going to have basically this is the albedo. I'm going to make it transparent, and I also want emission on it, so I might just drag and drop this. So the only thing that I can like manipulate are like these values, but instead of doing it in here, I'm going to do it here. And what I have to do is I need to go to add property, click this drop down for the mesh render, and look for mesh render material main text st. And press the plus button to add it. First I'm going to add the material I just created to this mesh. So obviously it should only be one image at a time, but it's showing the whole image. So the first thing that I need to do is to drop this down. I'm gonna get rid of all this, and the X is going to be the horizontal. So there's 5 in a row, so it's going to be 0.2. This scale. Why is it not updating? So I'm going to leave it like that for now. The Y, it's going to be half, so half this size, because there's only 2 in the vertical. And this one just looks like if I play. This should be there. It should just okay, so as you can see, even though it's not updated, updated here, it's actually updated in the game. I wish there was a way to update this image. It would be so much easier for me. But anyways, so first frame is going to be like this. Next frame, if I can, how come I can't do this? It updated as soon as I didn't realize these were so far apart. I need to okay, so for this one, it's going to be 0.2, and I'm going to key the whole thing. 0.4, key the whole thing. 0.6, key the whole thing. 0.8, key the whole thing. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think I need more of these, so I'm just going to move this over. And then this one is back to 0, but this one is minus 0.5. Minus 0.50, add key to So hopefully you guys understand this. This is like the size of the image. Like instead of using the whole image, I need to use like squares. That's why I'm making the image size 0.2 um, in the X and 0.5 in the Y. It's basically cropping out just like a portion of it. And here, these bottom two, I'm moving the offset. So hopefully that makes sense. So here everything looks fine, but one thing that's good to do is to go into this curves, and if I go here, if I pull this up on the right hand side, as you can see, if these keys were any further apart, then there would be interpolation. So what I gotta do is I need to select all these keys. I'm gonna right click, and under both tangents I need to click constant, which turns all these keys into step keys. So just in case I decide to like go back here and like spread these out, because there's no frames in between, but if just say I double the length of it, then all of a sudden there's going to be like this an empty frame in between, which I don't want. So I'm just going to play to see what it looks like. It doesn't look super amazing, but whatever. I'm going to go back into this material. I need to turn down the smooth. I don't want any smooth. And the HDR, I'm going to bump it up. I'm not super crazy about this, but it's okay, I suppose, for now. But anyways, I'm going to close that. So by default, this death grip is going to be invisible, and it's going to be set visible if, first I need to create public game object death grip fx. So this is in the death grip, script. So if can move to ornament is true, if is shooting. Okay, here I can set when the button is pressed, then I can set death grip fx dot set active true, and as soon as can move to ornament is true, can move to ornament is false, where's can move to ornament false. I'm going to put an if statement here. If shooting grapple is true from the main character script, else if it's false, then I'm going to set these. So if it's shooting, but if it's not, then this is going to be false. I'll get rid of this, the original one that I made. So if I compile and play, hopefully this works. Okay, so I'm going to hit play. Okay, so if I press the button, oh, what's going on here? Oh, I think I forgot to drag and drop the death grip effects geometry, those clones that I just created. I need to put it in here, maybe it'll work. That looked really bad. I'll try once more. Yeah, not nearly as good as Darksiders 2. It's actually pretty ugly. Oh my gosh, that's terrible. I'm going to go to this material, make this color more yellow. For the emission. The emission color was white, but I want to make it more yellow because the death grip hand color has a yellowish tinge to it. One thing, okay, there's nothing I can really do about that. It's just doesn't look very good. But I'm going to add the exact same thing to the death grip hand. So this is the death grip. I'm going to make this visible for a second. And under this death grip, I'm going to add another geometry. Except this one is going to be this way. Put it about here. This also has an animator. Actually, I'll parent this to body instead. So if the body is invisible, then that's invisible. That was a really bad idea. I do not like that. I'm going to delete it. Delete that. I think this effect is way too opaque. I'm going to see if I can. I guess I can make it more. Make it less opaque. See what that does. That's a little bit better. A little bit more subtle. Maybe I can bump it up just a little bit more. Maybe about halfway. Okay, that's fine. I'm not very happy with it. It's nowhere near that of the quality of Darksiders, but this is my first one, so I'm okay with it. Okay, so I figured out some cool stuff. So first one is I added this piece of code where the death grip effects. It's constantly looking at the actual death grip hand, which is this script. So whenever, if I go play now, I also made the death grip effect bigger. I scaled it up. So if I press the button, as you can see, it points towards wherever the hand is going. It points almost directly at it. And it looks also better because the actual death grip effects, I just scaled it up in the z-axis. One thing I also need to mention is in Blender, you need to apply any rotation or scale. So before it was minus 90. That affects like all the calculations, like when I try to like rotate this death grip effects towards the hand, I have to make sure that this is set to 0 and all the scales are 1. So in order to set this to 0 without rotating it is to go to Object, Apply, and Apply Rotation, and then export it again. So that's what I had to do. Another thing that I should mention is in the animator, I made it so that the grappling is not only is it triggered for when the player is on the ground, but also if he's jumping. That's why there's it's coming from two places. So now if I play, just say I press jump and then immediately shoot, he goes into shooting position while he's in the air, which is good. So I think it just looks better now just because I scaled it up. I think maybe I made it a little bit too shallow. And one last thing that I should mention is what was it? Oh, the as I was saying before, if I actually before I play that, just say I move the player closer to the other ornament. So I have an ornament here and an ornament there. So I thought if I go closer to the other ornament, maybe it'll like read that one first. But apparently it doesn't work. So if I, even though I'm closer to this, I press the button, doesn't do nothing. But if I go to this one, it works. So just to prove it, I'm going to temporarily delete this one. So as you can see, this one says ornament, and then the second one says ornament 1. So if I delete the first one, I play, and I run over to this other ornament, and all of a sudden it works now. So what that tells me is that it's only picking up the first one in the sequence. So I made it in the script, the ornament script, that if a player is closer than 20 units, then it should set this ornament as the game object in the character script, because the character script has an ornament variable. But apparently, for some reason that I don't know, it only works for the first one in the list. So if there's 2, then it's going to get the one with the smallest number. This one has no number, so that's I guess the smallest one. So that's one thing I haven't figured out. But besides that, I'm pretty happy with the progress of this. This is my first time doing Grapple, so I just wanted to see what I can do with it. And I think there's a whole bunch here that you could have probably found useful. So yeah, hopefully somebody enjoyed that. I think this is going to be the last video for this series. I'll probably do more stuff in the future. There's a whole bunch of little things that I want to try out and demonstrate. Yeah, so please stay tuned for future videos, and thanks for watching.